teacher, you can actually see that for, the parents can see that for their particular child and see how they're going. And then, yes, we send out email prompts for if there's homework to be done, and they can see which tasks they're doing and which ones they've done or haven't done. So parents that want to opt into that, they can. Ones that don't want to be bothered by that, you can always disable that. That's not a problem either.
Well, it looks like she got practice NAPLAN questions as an adaptive sense, coming close to NAPLAN as well.
Yeah, yeah. So we have content specific to NAPLAN for NAPLAN practice. So like how you can set curriculum. So I might show you now how a teacher, how a student might do that from the ebook section. So they're on the ebook here, and I can now, I went to the browse section rather than clicking on a specific topic, and I can choose which topic I'd like. And so I can choose the Australian ones there. If I go down, there's some NAPLAN. There's NAPLAN curriculum there, which they can jump into for practice. Calculator, non-calculator, and they can practice these ones. And if you have the Mathspace for School account, you can assign that curriculum and those topics to your students, and then you'll be able to see the data as well as just them practicing them in class.
How many questions in that test?
That's a good question.
Looks like there's a few.
Let's go down. Looks like there's 32 in this one. But not only that, but each time they click the try this problem, it should randomize and vary the numbers, so they can practice them multiple times for the same type of question. Alright, so I've shown you sort of how to create a class. You just have to go, I think when you first log in it'll prompt you to create your first class, but if you need to create any new classes you can just do it from there. You add your students in the admin section where they can join themselves by going to the link and doing that. You can add parent information by clicking on the student and adding that information that way. Once you've done that, go to the planner page to create your task. You can click on the plus sign. You'll have choice between the adaptive, custom, and fast track, as well as assigning to multiple classes and that sort of thing here. Adaptive is really easy to assign. All you have to do is just choose your curriculum, topic, and subtopic, and then Mathspace will kind of do all the rest for you there. With the custom, you drag them over. You might save it to shared exercise so other faculty can have access as well. And then when you want to view the results, you just go back to your planner. You can hover over for a quick view, or you click on it to view those results by student, by type of question. For revision, that's really helpful. Or you can click on the specifics. Oops. The specifics and get every step of working that they've done. So that's a bit of an overview of Mathspace. I might just give one other point that I just thought of as well. That's really helpful. If you start to use Mathspace over multiple years, you're going to get more out of it. Every single bit of working that's done by the student, whether they do adaptive or they do a custom task, so all that's going to be recorded.
We just waited out, mate.
I'm glad you're all used to it. Yeah.
3 times a day.
I feel like part of the initiation there is. The mastery is recorded no matter what work they're doing, will all go towards their mastery. So you can set custom work, and that'll still boost their mastery. They don't have to just do adaptive to boost their mastery, which is really nice. And over multiple years, all of that is just stayed with that individual student. So if they change class from year to year, or even within that year, those mastery records stays with that individual student. What this means is I might be in grade 6, a grade 6 teacher. I might want to see my students that are coming in, how they already are in their mastery of those topics, how they did last year. So I can actually jump into whatever, let's say it's fractions, I can jump into their grade 5 curriculum for fractions and go, okay, it looks like my students, they mastered pretty well, so I can just sort of take off with my grade 6 content for this year. But if you can see that they're all 50% or lower, you might go, okay, we're going to probably have to do some work in the grade 5 level content before we continue. So really Mathspace for schools is all about getting that kind of data information for you as a teacher to really know where your students are at and where you should be targeting your lessons, your content, which students are going to need the most help, and yeah, really taking advantage of that. And from the student's perspective, they have the adaptive task, so it works and individualizes the lessons for them, or they have all that range of content to explore for themselves if they'd like to. Right. Any particular questions about stuff I've shown there?
Just
Yeah.
if a from the parents' side,
Yeah, sure.
if they say, oh, is there a textbook we can get or something like that, do they just
Right.
print out?
They can print out stuff if they'd like. There's no means to kind of print it all out in one collection or anything like that. But yeah, you can print out, so like you can print out the questions as well. You can also print out questions from custom tasks you've done, so if you want to use it as a resource that way, you can do that. So you just think in terms of for the
They can
parents.
just follow it and see what the kids are doing.
Yeah, and I mean, even technically, if they want to, they could probably sign up for their own MathSpace Essentials class, account, which they could have access to then the ebook if they wanted to do that.
Okay.
So that'll be something that, yeah, because Essentials has been sponsored, they can technically sign. It's not limited to just students being able to sign up. Any person can really sign up for Essentials if they'd like. So parents could do that if that's what they'd like, and that way they can kind of follow along with the same content. Yeah, they could even practice the questions if they want to. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see, like, for my Year 7 class, this has huge potential, which is
Yeah.
awesome. I
Cool.
saw that the Maths B and A were beta.
Yeah,
Are
so
they still being developed? Or?
they're sort of in technical beta, so there's a few chapters that are in revision, but most of the content's there,
Okay.
and most of it's already being used by seniors right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something which yeah, I've asked the curriculum people to put it out of beta because it shouldn't even technically be in beta anymore, but I think I just haven't gotten around to actually doing it, so I'll just have to kind of get on their case of actually
Okay.
get them to get out of beta. But yeah, that should be, but all that be accessible. So if there's anything you see missing as well, let us know. That's another great thing about MathSpace for Schools is we have this teacher chat function. So it'll be just down here. And at any point you can start a conversation with us. And it's, I don't know if the internet dropped out. It's network. No network anymore. Well, if there was a network connection, you would be able to send a message through. And so, yeah, you can, that's part of your subscription of MathSpace for Schools, is not only can I come out once a term and run PD sessions if you need to have that kind of Q&A and how you're using the program, how you'd like to use it better, or if new features come out, then I can kind of explain that. So that's one of the things that we find with taking up on a new digital product or using any product is a lot of teachers, it can be hard to be a take-up if they're just not even sure what can I get out of this thing. So part of that subscription is me having that chat with you, showing you how to use it. So that's the initial training here is all free, but would be ongoing training if you'd like it, if you need it. But if you have trouble at any point trying to do something, you also can use that teacher chat function to do that live chat where you can get feedback from us on, like, if you say, oh, I can't remember how to start a class, or I'd really like to do this with my class, is that possible on MathSpace? And you'll get feedback from us on how to use MathSpace as best as possible.
You got any YouTube videos on things like that, like starting a class or whatnot?
Yeah, we do actually. So there's a.
That's where I go normally.
Yeah, and so when we set up the accounts, we'll give you a link to that web address that has links to all those videos. So that way, it's basically like a video guide how to do things. So basically, what I've done today, but then you can access it whenever you like.
Cool.
So yeah.
Oh, with the working one, you were doing the surface area one before.
Yeah.
What if the kid jumped like to 216 straight up?
Yeah, that's a good question. So depending on the question, depends on what we have as requirements for steps of working. So in questions, probably more in like the geometry questions, we require steps of working to show the reasoning of how they got there. For that one in particular, I think if they just did the final answer, it would accept it. So that's where it sort of be on the teacher. If you really want to see the steps of working, you need to ask, I'd like you to show your working. But that mostly that judgment call has been based on if it's work that they've kind of, they know how to do, and they don't want to tediously do every single step of working, they can skip certain steps, and Mathspace will know which step they've gone to. So it's kind of one of those tricky things we've had to make a judgment call on. Do you tediously require every single step of working in Mathspace to be required, or do you leave it completely open? And so we've tried to find the balance on the questions where we feel was most important to require it or not require it. So, so if in particular you'd like to see this, but you'll know because your students will pop something in that they think is the final answer, and they'll be just marked wrong. And you say, well, because they won't even realize there's a program where they can do steps of working. So you almost have to train them. Actually, if you're not sure, ask for the hint, try that first step of working, see if you get that right, and then go on from there. So what we noticed from schools is students that at first just like, oh, I want to try and jump straight to the end, because they'll get like something wrong, they realize, oh, if I actually try and enter my steps of working, I'll get feedback on that and I'll know if I'm on the right track. So it sort of naturally encourages students to do that. We also recommend to teachers to encourage them to do that as well, because that's how it's built to help them step by step. Great, well, we'll be setting up these accounts for you. We can probably get access to you by tomorrow. We just need the names and emails. And yeah,